Hello, everyone. Corey here, coming in to do the that sound like an announcement. Coming in to do the new moon, and of course, we just come through the eclipse. We are in eclipse season. I think we have the next one coming up in October, but this is being recorded on the 20th. I have been days trying to record this, the 20th of April, 2023. I've been days trying to record this. I have not had the zest, the oomph, the energy. I have been absolutely exhausted. And my dear friend, one of my friends and healer, Althea Gray, she has these light measurement charts, and you can go to Althea Gray, the human potential healer. You can go to altheagray.com and you can actually buy these charts and with the little wooden pendulum and measuring my light measurement. And so the light measurement, uh, my light measurement has literally been almost at like 1K, zero at some points. So that's like almost dead. So that is no light. That represents illness, sickness, death, like all of those things. So there's a lot of old energy. There's a lot that has been trying to attach or just not feeling good, not feeling well. Just back from Vancouver, and I'm not the only person who's feeling this, and this has been going on for a while. So the more we try to push on and keep going, nothing happens. And how I know when I go to record these, my eyes start closing. Like I can't keep my eyes open. I know I've maxed out. There's just I'm trapped because I read the energy, because I travel the energy, is I can feel the density. I can feel how heavy it is. So a lot of the density of the energy that I was existing in was literally feeling what is ahead of us. Huh. What is ahead of us? And I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but we do have a retrograde that is just coming in. We just are out of Aries and going into Taurus. So Aries would be returning to its 0 degrees and starting over. Taurus energy. Um, there is a some resistance that's coming in. We do have the retrograde energy happening, and it's just like, it's slow moving and it's telling us to slow it down. We've been on a bit of a kick. This Aries season have had us on a bit of a kick, a bit of a drive, a bit of that whole narrative of, just because you hear it through astrology, or just because you hear it through channeling, just because you hear it through any message out there that says, oh my god, this is the time, you have to get going, this is you don't waste this energy, you got to make this happen, this is when you need to be motivated, this is when this has to happen. If your body is telling you a different story and you're not feeling it and everything feels resistant, then you have to learn that your body is speaking to you, and you have about the oldest, wisest being within you, the soul, that has some great wisdom, that at this stage, the age we're moving into, the times we're moving into, is that this is all really good as well. But you have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to what your body is telling you. You have to listen to what your mind or what your heart is telling you. And you have to really truly listen to the soul. It is a time of moving into the relationship with the soul, to be connected to the soul, to be present with the soul, to just say, you know what do I really need to be doing? And maybe no one's going to take your turn. No one's going to take your place. No one can take your spot. Your spot is only for you. There is only one of you. That's it. There's only one. And so, the one and only is you. The one and only can only ever be you. Remember that. So there is this density in the energy. There is this like heavy kind of energies exist. So I'm still trying to hold myself up. I'm still trying to hold myself up. I'm trying to hold up the physical body, but the channel is determined to go, go, go today. There's just so much that it just feels like needs to come out. This is new moon. So new moon energy would have been on the 19th, which is yesterday. We still have the remnants of this. We're still in it today on the 20th, but you also have the remnants of it traveling for the next few days. This is, in the dark, to be able to sit in the darkness of the experience, to pause, to reflect, and you know what are my intentions? What have I been trying to get to? What have I been trying to achieve? What have I been trying to make happen? And this energy and this new moon this new moon followed into Aries, right? Like it was still in this Aries new moon energy. And it's like, what is my intentions? And you can change your mind. You can change your mind at any time. So setting those new intentions, contemplating that maybe between this moon and the next moon, my intention is to literally sit back and relax. My intention is to sit down and let myself get well. My intention, because it's okay that you don't set some great big massive intention that doesn't feel right for you. Now, also with this energy, there is on the flip side of this energy, on the other things that are happening, is it does come with tower moments, but it also comes with um this sense of um we're breaking new ground. So we're breaking new ground, starting to be able to rebuild, starting to be able to start over. And if we were to look at areas where we've had some big storms and lots of destructions and those things within the world, is that bulldozing over. We can't fix what's happened. You're not gonna make it better. There's no making it better. There's no restoring that sense of loss. It's like, but we have to start from somewhere. And so this is, no matter where we have been, what we've been through, we have to start from somewhere. So starting from somewhere in knowing that the disaster is still there, the endings are still happening, but I have to get a start point. Like there is, and that's for those who are ready to move forward, those who are ready to go. So there is a new start point. So I feel like we're at a new start point. And so your new start point, nobody else can get on it. Don't worry about it. But we are at this point of where there's this new start point, and we can start from here. Not try to find our way back to start from somewhere, not trying to fully clean up everything before we start, but just start. So the start point means you can stay there, you can sit there, and the go bell hasn't maybe gone off yet. And so you don't have to run. It's not a race. Life is not a race. And so those new beginnings that are coming in, I mean, we speak about this stuff over and over. Sometimes I think to myself, this is just a repeat, because things go in cycles and things go around and around and around and around until something changes and we stop going around, till we stop going through those cycles. So there is a cycle that feels like it has been broken, interrupted, like a chain is broken, and now we can't. It's like the links don't go back together, and now we have to travel like this way. Now we have to go this way. So there's a lot of explosions still happening over the next few weeks that just says it's like stepping on like time bombs, right? It's like it just feels like anything can happen between now and the next few weeks. Nothing is predictable. Nothing is, and I think we talked about this last video as well. But I'm like, expect the unexpected. Expect people to behave in unexpected ways. Um, expect, right? It's like expect it in the way of not expecting it. So don't anticipate something bad happening, because what if the something that is about to happen is something really great, right? What if it's something really great? And sometimes what looks like is something really shitty might actually be something very great. So if there's like a bank that collapses, if there's an establishment that kind of just that ends its reign, whatever that may be, it possibly is because there is, and I know we're impacted by those big things, but on the other side of that, there is something more. Now, coming forward, we also have a lot of shortages happening, and we haven't really had those conversations so much in a long time. It's been a while since we've had, I think this is like nearing the end of like the pandemic, when we ran into all the shortages with like Tylenol for kids, and um, talking about, buying all this food that you can store. Well, these shortages, I don't feel like they weren't caused by man per se, but caused by weather. And and it feels like we're going to be experiencing or seeing like the rollout of after effects from many storms, many things that have taken place, and through produce, through things that we get through nature, that we're going to be experiencing a realization of how we are at the mercy of weather, or that we're at such that we're such fragile beings, that on a world scale, on a bigger picture, that as a human being we are very fragile, and we are so dependent. So we're so dependent upon everything, including cell phones, including computers. If everything went dark and blacked out, you wouldn't even be able to get money out of the bank. You wouldn't be able to just walk into the bank and say, I want to just take out $500 from my bank account. And they could just walk into the safe and get you $500, because they just can't. They can't access. It can't be accessible. It can't be accessed because they can't get to a computer. So we're going to really become aware of the fragility of us, of realizing just how vulnerable we have become, because we stopped trusting ourselves. We started to put a lot of faith and trust in a lot of other areas, and we stopped caring. We stopped taking care of ourselves, and we started to allow ourselves to be cared for by society. We started to not worry about parts of our needs, and then before you know it, you didn't even have to think for yourself because it was being done. So there's awarenesses that are coming in that says, you have to you we have to care for ourselves. We have to be not afraid to question. We have to be not afraid to look at ourselves, to look at our lives, to not just take for granted. I don't feel like we can take life and life itself for granted as a human, right? It's like having the courage to face reality is just saying, you know what, I think I need to know more about what you're about to do. I think we need to know more as a society about these choices and decisions that you're making. Um, and not just say yes to things. So we're not going to be so agreeable to say yes to things, because we're start going to really start thinking for ourselves as a society, as a world. So when we talk about that unity, or that come to all to one type of, it's like, no, we're not going to all think alike. No, we're not going to all agree with each other, and neither should we. We need to be able to question all of that. But that is where this, like, we're coming into the time. We have been predicting this for a while, but we're coming into that time now. We're coming into that energy. It doesn't mean we're going to all starve. It doesn't mean all of those things. It just means that we are starting to look at our our lives, our our role in what we in the world that we create, and the importance of our human, and that what is divine of us, what is most precious of us, is it is our responsibility to care for. It's our responsibility to question. And that could be in society, that could, so bring that into a smaller scale. Bring that into yourself, bring that into your personal relationships. That when you say, oh, I don't care, whatever, just works. No, you should care. And it shouldn't be whatever, and that it's just whatever. Whatever you like, what do you like? Ask yourself, what do I like? What do I want? Where do I see myself going? Set some of those intentions that you're going to start to make yourself a priority, because we're not at the end of some of these changes, even though we're in the new beginning, even though we will see a big shift happening in the next year. By 2024, it just feels like it's going to be really, truly, like, our sense of being motivated to really enhance the life of our of and the vitality of our human existence is going to be at the utmost importance. Our vitality, our personal authority, our to choose for ourselves, to really truly care about what we inject into our bodies, what we put into our bodies, what we eat, what we drink, what we feed ourselves. Everything will matter on a deeper, bigger scale. And and we start to see things in a different way. So that's no difference of putting yourself into relationships. So personal relationships, and treating relationships, or your relationship with yourself, becoming more sacred. The fact that, you know cleaning up the act. It just feels like people have to start cleaning up their act. People have to start making changes in their lives. People have to start being more consciously aware of how they treat others. We're not going to be so accepting. We're not going to be so easily just say, oh, it's okay. Just treat me however you want to treat me. We're, we're really starting to view ourselves as humans very differently moving forward. So if you find yourself being pissed off or angry, about, different things, about, it's not okay to damage my little human self. It's not okay to leave, to abandon myself. Why did I ever feel like I had to abandon myself? Why did I ever feel like I had to sacrifice those parts of myself in order to please something that wasn't even truth, the imposter that was within me, the energy that really wasn't ever my truth? We're going to start, like, we're seeing that as in such a level moving forward, that we're like, ah. And it's about, like, restoration. We're reviving, revitalizing. We're coming back to life from authenticity, a more organic self, a more organic way, and to be in charge of our own things, to be in charge of our own money, to be in charge of our own lives, to speak for ourselves, to not be to have our own voice. And I'm like, I don't know how all this unfolds. This is all that we're seeing, and it's all been coming up with this energy in the last few days. It is heavier, it is denser, but it is beautiful opportunities. It is magical, actually. So it's kind of like that alchemy of life. I feel like we're really stepping into a stage of alchemy. That there's so much for us to. We're stepping into uncharted territories, almost as if we are walking in new land, walking a new place, and we're going to be discovering, exploring, observing, bearing witness to changes happening kind of quickly. And we start to see people differently. Start to see people differently. There is a calmness that's existing a little bit more as we come forward, but we're not quite there yet. Um, and just wanting to embody more light, wanting to, what else can I do to feel this light, to feel this love? So we're finding the resurrection of a return to spirit, a living from spirit, connecting to spirit, Um, I'm like, I feel like I just want to kind of like preach this out somehow. And I just finished recording a podcast for my other YouTube channel for She Is More Than Existing. And then also I just finished doing an angel series for Unified TV. And a piece of this has come up in both. And it is that essence of, learning the power of living from spirit, that you're so much more than all of this physical self. And we're here to meet those physical needs, and those physical needs are going to require us to allow our divine to work through us and for us moving forward. So on this day, or whenever you listen to this, I hope that in some way you can be inspired by the sense of knowing that, energy gives us a reality to of of energy, but it's like, but we can mold it, and we can shape it, and we can sculpt it, and we can use it for our own higher interests, whatever is for the best. And so when we get those messages, or we get that energy, it is never about the fear. It's about, oh, what can I do with this experience? What can I do with this energy that's existing right now? And how can I use this energy for my highest good? And so we do, like I said, there's a lot of alchemy here. There's a lot of magic here. There's a lot of, I'm like, expect the unexpected. And this could be in the most beautiful ways as we're coming forward. This is coming down to the last days to be able to get get the 50% off the early bird special for my upcoming Mystical Realms course, which is about the dragons and the elements. It is one of my master classes. It's in mteacademy.ca, and it is until the 22nd. It is 50% off the course if you do the early bird sign up. And so if you want to get into that one with me, then get signed up, as I'm choosing a card to give for this message as well. So we have the Five of Swords. See, there's the flag is up behind here. So, the war kind of, so I just feel like being at battle, being at war, like, but, there's a storm, but he's got that foot up. I just feel like, and here's this light. So what I'm getting with this Five of Swords is that this is the sense of, the battle is already won in the choice that you choose to make by saying yes to you, by saying, yes, I matter. And then the transformation is dealing with, not trying to conquer it all or trying to battle it all at one time, but to do all of the little things, knowing that you've already won. You've already succeeded. You've already won the lottery by being a human, by being here. You could be an ant crawling around on the ground, not knowing, but you are a human. And because you are a human, you've got the upper hand. And so there is a lot of opportunities, and not to be, victimizing ourselves by being crippled in fear stories, or feeling like you have to do something you're not ready to do or you don't want to do. And sometimes we got to become the version of ourselves we need to move forward. And so there is a shift with this. And this is the Hierophant. And when this Hierophant is coming in, it's sometimes we have to go deep within, and we have to spend that time in silence, or in isolation, that we have to take soul journeys that are alone, that are by ourselves, that in order to gain, to get what we need to get, is that we have to walk a path by ourselves, to not to have, somebody else there. But the Hierophant is truly telling me that that there is and this is also a 5, is that there's other times when we need guidance. There's other times when we need a spirit guide. We need someone who has wisdom. We need that advice. We need that support. And so just knowing that we are supported, that you are supported, we are supported by the divine, we're supported by spirit, we're supported by many things, but also that it's, even though we listen to ourselves, even though we got to trust our own bodies, sometimes we need to talk it out. Sometimes we just need to be heard. Sometimes we just need to hear ourselves. So having that advisor, having that mentor, having that person in your life is not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of saying, well, I can do it without anybody. It's saying I could, but why would I do things? Why would I need to make things harder for myself? So during any process, there may be people who've already experienced it that can give wisdom so that you're not battling your mind. You're not caught in doubt. You're not caught up in trying to figure out, these hidden messages that may be coming, but that you can hear yourself say on what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, what it feels like for you. And then you may receive the answers before somebody else even speaks. So you may be needing a sounding board. You may, it's a good time to know that it's a time for support. It's a time to not to be going inward. You're not in hermit energy, right? So the hermit would be about going in. You're in being out there. And many of the people out there right now are truly starting to awaken to their spirituality. They're awakening to their spirit. They're awakening to that they are so much more than their old stories. So you can't keep trying to be what you once were and trying to battle from the version of you that once was. The once was is no longer here. And here we have the high priestess. So we have some major arcana stuff happening. So this is the mind, this is the swords, but then we have the Hierophant and we have the high priestess. And so we have 2 and we have a 5, which is also a 7. This is the year of the 7, but this is major events. So we have many major events, and in many major events, there's always who is the main characters in those major events in our lives. Well, you are to be one of those characters. You're here to, you're here to play a role in that. And then also, so is the divine or other people. Who is that main person within your life that where you are reliant upon, maybe sometimes over reliant upon, because you're not able to trust yourself. Whereas if you can start to know you and your cycles and recognize your old patterns, and to not to exist in the mind, but to know that there is, there's so much that I can connect to within myself, and then still seek the support or the sounding board. Not validation. It's not about validation, but knowing that you hold the powers to be the best version of yourself. So in the characters, who holds the power in your story? Who holds the power of love? Who holds the power, who holds the power over you sometimes, that is in a fear story, wherever that may be. I don't know why what this is representing for me today, because I'm like, that's not really all of what the cards would really mean, but that's the message that I got with it. That's what's coming up for me. And then the validation, the bottom of the deck for this is the Fool. So here she is, and I just got that song, Here I Go Once Again, with my suitcase in my hand. Like, that's the lyrics to the song. And I just feel like it's like, here we go. So this is the start point. We're at that 0. And in the 0, the point 0, the new beginning you haven't walked past the 0 point. You haven't walked past the point. You haven't heard the go, but you just know. You just know, and there's a journey, a quest, and life is about to become a whole new journey and a new quest to start to just go. And there's loyalty. So she's walked in through a new portal energy, a new door, a change. Ground 0 is like, it's just like energy being pulled into the black hole. So if stars or planets get pulled into the black hole and it disappears, and we believe it to be gone, never to be seen again, but it's transmuted. It comes out as something new, gives birth to something new on the other side, but it uses the energy, it uses the information, it uses where you once were as you get pulled through this energy to give birth to that newest version of self. And so it's coming back, right? It's like um, reviving, right? It's like reviving that sense of renewed self without some of the old baggage that needed to die. So much needed to die. So many things needed to end. So there needs to be death, like death of the old, symbolic, and the beginning of something new. And so this is, you're through the gate, you're through the door, but it's observation, observing, looking around, where am I? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? Staff is in hand, but the staff hasn't fully hit the ground. There's just so much waiting. And so there is a level of excitement with this too, and so many opportunities. And I can feel the excitement. I can feel the enthusiasm, because this is where magic and miracles happens. This is where anything is possible. This is where out of the blue, you may get the call for something important in your life. It's where you may just all of a sudden, when you thought nothing was working out, something can just show up and everything can work out. It just feels like a wow time, and let the wow time unfold, and let the wow time in, and just embrace it, and just be a part of it. I don't know. I just feel like there's just so much to come. And that's what I have for you. If you love these, please subscribe to my, if you love these and haven't subscribed, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also you can subscribe to my other YouTube channel, which I spoke of. Every bit of information you can find on CorrieThorne.com. You can purchase my books, everything directly on there, or you can book your own appointment with me. I did open up the schedule for May, so there is some new availabilities in May. If you've been looking and searching and have not been able to find anything, May and the first week of June has some availabilities. And then I will most likely be working very, very little in July and August. I will be taking some time off during those times, and maybe doing some traveling work. But yeah. And I think that's all I have for you right now. So much love, and thank you so much for being with me, and happy new moon, and embrace and enjoy. Be curious. Be curious about you. Bye-bye.